In the last video, we covered very clearly about throw keyword, right? But now I will explain. There are three important cases are there related to throw keyword. These cases we will discuss one by one. Observe that case 1. Have a look once very carefully what code I am writing and what important conclusion is there. Here I am taking class test. Okay, now I am declaring a static variable, static arithmetic exception E is equal to new arithmetic exception. Of course, you can create arithmetic exception object in this style also. Of course, AE means full form only, arithmetic exception. Just for notes purpose, I am taking very short word. Okay, like here I am not passing any description, means the description will become empty. Yes, acceptable, because in arithmetic exception class, no argument constructor is also there. Okay, now public static void main string array args, sir. Public static void main string array args. Now throw E means arithmetic exception object. Already we created at the beginning static variable, right? Now, sir, this is the first part. Of course, under this case, this is the first part. Observe. Now I am taking class test, public static void main method string array args, public static void main string array args. Here static arithmetic exception E, that's all. Okay, E, that's it. Just I declared arithmetic exception reference variable, but I didn't create object. But in this case, I created corresponding object also. Observe the difference, right? Now, throw E I am taking. Can you please confirm? In this case, what will happen? Please guide. In this case, what is the problem? I mean, in this case, what is the result? In this case, what is the result? Take very special care. Here, which exception object we are raising? Arithmetic exception object. Which exception object we are raising? Arithmetic exception object. So there is no handling code. That's why we are going to get exception in thread main. Exception in thread main. Which exception we are going to get, sir? Which exception we are going to get? Arithmetic exception. Are you getting? We will get runtime exception saying arithmetic exception we are going to get, sir. Okay, well, now in this case what will happen? Am I going to get same arithmetic exception or not? Because E is what type? Arithmetic exception type. Can I get the same exception or not? That's what important conclusion. Can you please tell here E, what is the value of E? Respond. What is the value of E? I didn't assign any value. I didn't assign anything. For static variable, JVM will always provide default value. Are you getting? What is the default value for static variable is null. Remember this one, because it is object type, right? Default value for object reference variable is always null. So throw null. So if you are trying to use throw keyword for null reference, we are going to get null pointer exception, but not arithmetic exception. Observe carefully, sir. Null pointer exception, but not arithmetic exception. So the important conclusion what you people should get is throw E. If E refers a null, if E refers a null, then we will get null pointer exception, but not the corresponding arithmetic exception. Remember this one, sir. E should not be null. By mistake, if this E is a null, we will get what? Null pointer exception, but not arithmetic exception. Clear, right? Let me execute so that you will get much clarity, sir. Observe carefully. Sir, this is static arithmetic exception. E is equal to arithmetic exception. Public static void main throw E. I am taking, sir. Just I am creating arithmetic exception object throw E like this I took, sir. Now have a look once, sir. The code compiles fine. The code compiles fine. At runtime, we are going to get exception in thread main, java.lang.arithmetic exception. Are you getting exception in thread main, java.lang.arithmetic exception? Yes, we are getting clearly arithmetic exception object. Okay, well. But now, instead of this, just observe, I am taking E. That's all. That's all. So, if I am not assigning arithmetic exception object to this E, then what is the value of E? E will become what? Null. Null. Throw null means null pointer exception we have to get. Observe carefully, sir. Throw E means here the code compiles fine, no problem at all. But now observe exception in thread main, null pointer exception. So this is the case 1 what you people should aware, right? So throw E, if E refers null, then we will get what? Null pointer exception. Throw E compulsory should point into object, some exception object. Instead of exception object, if this value is the null pointer exception. Clear, right? Sir, now let me explain case 2. Observe that carefully. Here I am taking class test, public static void main string array args, public static void main string array args. Here system.out.println 10/0, system.out.println hello like this I am taking. SOP of hello like I am taking. Class test, public static void main 10/0 hello. Similarly, class test, public static void main method, public static void main method, string array args, public static void main string array args. Now observe, in this line arithmetic exception will be raised. You know that we covered multiple times. I want to do manually the same thing. Here throw new arithmetic exception, throw new arithmetic exception. Now division by 0 like this I took. Instead of SOP of 10/0 I took throw new. Next system.out.println hello like this I took, sir. Yeah, beautiful. Can you please tell what is the difference between these two things? Can you please confirm? I hope you can able to see both simultaneously. Okay, can you tell what is the difference between these two things? Nothing. Nothing. In both cases we are going to get runtime exception, arithmetic exception, like. Correct or not? You respond. Why you are silent? Correct or not? In both cases we are going to get runtime exception, saying arithmetic exception. Yes or no? Think a bit logically. In both cases, if I am going to get same arithmetic exception, then why you are taking separately this one? Are you getting what is the need of separate special case? Compulsory there should be some difference. What is the difference is, in this case we will get runtime exception, arithmetic exception, division by 0. Observe very carefully, sir. As for your expected, here only arithmetic exception is going to come. Here only the program will be terminated abnormally. But in this case, the code won't compile time error, right? Compile time error. Sir, why, sir? It is also same, because SOP of 10/0 we are taking through new arithmetic exception. But why these compile time errors are very simple. Here just observe, SOP of 10/0, my compiler don't know yet at this point arithmetic exception will be raised. Compiler don't know. Yet runtime, yet while execution, sir, we are going to get runtime exception. So compiler don't know we are getting runtime, compiler don't know at this point we are going to get arithmetic exception. It's a simple SOP statement. The code compiles fine. But in this case, do you know, we are using throw keyword explicitly. We are raising exception. Compiler aware, oh, at this point arithmetic exception will be raised. Compiler aware that, sir, at this point if arithmetic exception will be raised, so and the program will be terminated when this line will get the chance. When this line will get the chance, so this line never going to get in the chance. That's why it will become unreachable statement. Are you getting? It will become unreachable statement. So compiler is responsible to identify unreachable statements but not JVM. So compiler knows that at this line arithmetic exception will be raised, rest of the code is not going to be executed. Compiler having that information because of your throw keyword. Are you getting? That's why this statement will become unreachable statement. Remember this. But here compiler don't know at this point arithmetic exception will be raised because it's a simple SOP statement. Sir, compiler feels that first SOP after executing second SOP will execute like that, it is going to fail. Compiler don't know this statement is the unreachable statement. Are you able to understand, right? So the conclusion is after throw statement we can't write any statement directly. By mistake, if you are trying to write any statement directly, immediately we are going to get unreachable statement. Any doubt? Is the cinema clear for all of you, right? So after throw, can I write any statement directly? No way. We will get what? Unreachable statement. Let me execute this code. Have a look once, sir. Observe a bit very carefully about this one. Here I am taking, sir, just system.out.println 10/0, SOP of 10/0. Next, here I am taking hello. Here I am taking hello like this, right? Now have a look once. The code compiles fine. The code compiles fine. What the answer we are going to get? Exception in thread main. Exception in thread main. Arithmetic exception division by 0. Sir, it is the runtime exception but not compile time error. It is the runtime exception but not compile time error, right? Okay, well. But now instead of this line, now throw new arithmetic exception division by 0 like this I am taking, sir. So instead of SOP, throw new arithmetic exception. Compiler identifies that boss at this stage there is arithmetic exception will be raised. Rest of the code is not going to be executed like compiler is going to feel. That's why. So at this line, what will happen? Compile time error saying unreachable statement. Now observe. Have a look once. What is the compile time error we are going to get, sir? Sir, observe. The code won't compile. Immediately compile time error we are getting unreachable statement. Observe. Is it clear, right? So the important point what you people should aware, after throw statement we can't take any statement directly. By mistake, if you are taking any statement directly, immediately we will get what? Compile time error. This is the case 2. Sir, up to these two cases are clear. Now let me go for next case. Here case 3. Case 3. Now take a bit special care, sir. Of course, it's a very easy case. Class test I am taking. Class test. Public static void main method I am taking. String array args. Public static void main string array args. Now throw new test I am taking like this. Throw new test like I am taking, sir. Can you please tell, is it valid or invalid? Ayo, is there any compile time error? Is there any syntactical mistake here? Is there any syntactical mistake? Is there any compile time error in this case? Yes, friends, observe. Sir, take very special care. We used throw for arithmetic exception, null pointer exception, like we used. But now first time I am using throw for test class. Remember that. So throw keyword applicable for only exceptions and errors. Are you getting? Throw keyword applicable only for throwable types. Are you getting? Only for throwable types. Throwable types means all exceptions will be covered. Next, all errors will be covered. No problem at all. Throw keyword we can use only for throwable types. not for normal Java classes. Sir, it is a class tester. It is not child of throwable. It is not child of throwable. Syntactical mistake, misuse of throw keyword. Immediately we are going to get compile time error, incompatible types. Are you getting? Incompatible types found tester required throwable, like sir, you may get compile time error. Remember this one, sir. If you want to use a throw keyword, it is applicable only for throwable types, not for normal Java class objects. Okay, let me execute this one so you may get much clarity. Here, see this. I have class test is there. Throw new tester. I'm taking, sir. Now observe. What will happen here is I'm trying to compile. Have you observed? Incompatible types. Tester cannot be converted to throwable. Remember this one, sir. What the compile time error we are going to get? Tester cannot be converted to throwable. Incompatible types like we are going to get. Sir, here observe version to version. There is a small change is there in our errors. Okay, it is a old version, sir. Now incompatible types tester cannot be converted to throwable. This is the error, compile time error we are going to get. Of course, both are same. In old versions, this type of compile time error. In updated version, this is the compile time error, right? But anyway, in both cases, we are going to get incompatible types. Sir, now my requirement is, observe carefully. I want to make a small change for this program to prevent this compile time error, right? How you can do that? Here, class tester, public static void main method I'm taking string array args. Public static void main string array args. Now throw new tester. So tester is not a throwable type. That's why compile time error we are getting. Now what I want to take, class tester extends runtime exception. Now observe this one. Test is the child class of runtime exception. So now observe throwable. For the throwable, exception is the child. For that, runtime exception. Under runtime exception, test is there. Test is the child of runtime exception. Runtime exception is the child of exception. Exception is the child of throwable. Now tester is throwable type or not? Yes, it is a throwable type. That's why compiler won't raise any compile time error. If the compiler is raising some error, I will give left and right because test object is throwable type only. That's why no compile time error at all. At runtime, we are raising test exception. But there is no handling code. Immediately the program will be terminated by printing exception in thread main. Are you getting? Exception in thread main. What is that exception, sir? Test exception. Are you getting? Now the name of exception will become what? Test exception. It is this approach we are going to use while defining our custom exceptions, right? But anyway, so exception in thread main, which exceptions are? Test exception we are going to get. It is the runtime exception, but not the compile time error because there is no syntactical mistake. Are you getting? Let me do this one. Here, see this. Here I am taking class tester. If I am not extends runtime exception, what happened? Compile time error, right? So incompatible type, tester cannot be convertible to throwable, like now extends runtime exception I am taking. Now it will become throwable, test will become throwable. Now observe, is there any compile time error? No compile time error. Happily the code compiles fine. Now I want to run this code. If I run this code, what is the output by default? We are getting exception in thread main test. That's all. This is the exception by default we are going to get. Any doubt about this one? Now the terminology is very clear for you people, right? So we can use a throw keyword only for throwable types. By mistake, if you are trying to use for non-throwable objects, immediately we will get compile time error. That's all. These are three important cases related to throw keyword. Clear?